What's up, y'all? I know it's been a minute, but trust me, it's worth the wait. Because this time, we're coming bolder, louder, and with zero sugarcoating. If you've been rocking with me since day one, you probably remember my old podcast, Real Talk with Sharita. I just wanted to let you know I see you and I appreciate you. And if you're new here, man, buckle up because this ain't your average podcast. We're keeping it raw, unfiltered, and straight to the point. But listen, this isn't just a comeback. This is a level up. Welcome to the official relaunch of my show, now called Speak No Sugar. Because let's be real, life is messy, relationships are complicated, and success, it's a grind. So I'm here to break it all down. No fluff, no filter, just facts. We're talking love, loyalty, and lessons learned the hard way. We're diving into entrepreneurship, self improvement, and making power moves in business. Because securing the bag, building a legacy, and leveling up, that's just as real as the drama. So if you're tired of sugar-coated BS and you're ready for the raw truth, tap in. This is Speak No Sugar. Welcome to the very first episode of Speak No Sugar, formerly Real Talk with Sharita, the podcast where we don't hold back, play small, or sugarcoat a damn thing. If it's real, we talk about it. If it's raw, we lean into it. If it's messy, we unpack it loudly, honestly, and unapologetically. I'm your host, Sharita, and today is deep. I'm talking burnout that left me drained, bounce backs that took everything in me, and the boss moves that helped me rebuild from the ground up. This episode isn't just a story, it's a testimony of loss, of growth, of choosing peace over pressure and purpose over performing. So if you've ever cried on your lunch break, questioned your worth, or sat in silence asking, is this really my life? This one is for you. So turn up the volume. Let's talk healing. Let's talk power. Let's talk about what happens when you stop shrinking and finally take up space. It's been over 3 years since my last podcast episode. So 3 years of growth, lessons, loss, healing, and transformation. When I started this journey, the show was called Real Talk with Sharita. And at that time, that's exactly what I gave, real talk. But life, let me tell you, life took me deeper than real. It took me into the kind of truth you can't dress up, filter, or smooth over. So when I came back to the mic, I knew I couldn't bring the same energy because I'm not the same woman. I've been refined, broken down, and rebuilt. So this isn't just a name change. This is a declaration for me. This is Speak No Sugar. Because the stories I'm telling now, they're raw, they're unfiltered, and they're for anyone who's in the thick of it, looking for a way out or looking just to find yourself again. And today I'm starting with my own story. Let me take you back for a second. When I started teaching, I didn't do it for a check. I did it because I cared. It was my calling. And I saw something in those kids that the world to this day I feel like still overlooks when it comes to the public school system. It wasn't just a job, it was purpose, it was passion, it was personal for me. But what no one really tells you is that even the most purpose driven path can turn toxic, especially when the system you're in is so broken. And teaching, oh my gosh, teaching is one of the hardest, most demanding, and most undervalued professions out there. We're not just teaching lessons, we're holding trauma, filling gaps, playing roles we were never trained or paid to carry. And I was expected to be a mentor, a mother figure, a therapist, a social worker, and still somehow keep test scores high and behavior charts filled out with a smile on my face and no help in sight. So I was constantly pouring from an empty cup, crying in the car before work, crying on my lunch break, coming home and crashing just to do it all over again. There was no real support. And I was so stretched in every direction by a system that didn't care if I sank or swim, as long as I showed up and I performed. And one thing I learned about burnout doesn't show up all at once. It's like it creeps in slowly. First you stop sleeping, then you stop eating right, then you stop dreaming altogether, then you start having health issues, and eventually you just go numb. So I started dreading the very thing that I once loved. And like deep down, I knew I was breaking. But here's what I didn't know at the time, that that breaking point wasn't the end of my story. It was the beginning of something bigger, something freer, something real. Because once I stopped performing and I started paying attention to what I really needed, everything started to change. And when I say everything changed, I mean everything changed, but not before I lost something that meant a lot to me. I lost a longtime client I had worked with for years, someone who trusted me, someone who believed in my vision when I barely believed it myself. And it wasn't because I dropped the ball out of laziness or I didn't care. It was because I simply had no time left. So they had to move on and hire somebody else. So between the lesson plans, the classroom chaos, the burnout, and exhaustion, I didn't have a single drop of energy left to give to nobody, let alone myself. And when you're trying to serve from a place of survival, something eventually slips. And for me, it was that client. And let me be real with you, that shit hurt. Like, not just financially, it hurt because I had spent years building something special, a relationship, a bond, a shared vision. And in business, those connections are everything. Clients aren't just paychecks, they're partnerships. They're people who trust you with their dreams. They're people who invest in your creativity, your skills, your consistency. And when you don't nurture those relationships, whether it's because you're overwhelmed, distracted, or burned out, sometimes you don't get a second chance. So that loss taught me something I carry with me every day now. Your relationships are your reputation. They are the heartbeat of your brand. And if you don't protect them, prioritize them, and pour into them the same way you pour into your craft, you'll watch the very thing you're building just slip right through your fingers. And it's not just about being good at what you do. Some of us think that, oh, I'm so good. It's not about that. It's about showing up, being present, being reliable. And when you're not in a place to do that, when you're drowning, it's okay to pause, but it's also a wake up call. And that client walking away from me was my wake up call. Not because I wasn't good at what I do, but because I stopped showing up like I used to when I started teaching. Because I was no longer building from abundance, I was barely surviving. So when I finally got the space to breathe again, I made a vow to myself. Never again will I build a business that breaks me. Never again will I sacrifice my peace just to perform. And never again will I take the people who believe in me for granted. Now, don't get it twisted for 1 second. I stayed as long as I did because of my students. A young girl looked me dead in my face. This was when I first started working there. She was like, "Miss Murray, you're the first Black teacher I ever had, and you made me feel like I could do anything." At that moment right there, that right there made everything like worth it. It made I loved it. Like, I wanted my kids to know that they could be anything that they wanted to be. At that moment, I felt, needed. Like that was my place. And then another time, I remember this was a little bit before I had decided to leave. My students they took some time to do some research about me, and they came back wide out like, "Miss Murray, you wrote 3 books, you got your own business, you got a whole bachelor's degree. Like, what you doing here?" And I laughed, told them I'm here because I love y'all, because, I want you to see what's possible. I'm not here for the paycheck. I'm here for you. Like, really and truly here to see and help you succeed. And that was true. It was true. But let's be honest, if I had stayed consistent in my business, if I hadn't let the fire die, I could have made like what I was making in a month in one day. So I was never there for the paycheck. I was there because I truly wanted to be there. I truly wanted to help my students. I truly wanted to give my students like my all. But I still ended up making that decision that scared me the most. I walked away. I didn't have a blueprint, I didn't have a plan B. What I had was faith. I knew I couldn't keep sacrificing myself for systems that weren't built to sustain me. And I took time to rest, to reset, to heal. And in that stillness, I found myself again. I started pouring back into my brand, my business, formerly Assured Purpose, now SM Consulting Digital Design. I got back to creating websites, coaching creatives, publishing books, and helping businesses build their online presence. And y'all, the freedom, phew, that has been everything. I forgot how that felt to not have to take on that stress and that just that micromanaging of having a 9 to 5 or working for somebody else or being under somebody else. That this freedom that I get, that I feel, it is so totally worth everything. Like, of course, like I still have a little part-time job that I go to maybe 3 days out of the week, to keep a little bit of extra cash or whatever you want to call it rolling in, and just to get out of the house and see people. Because working at home and working for yourself and just seeing yourself, the computer and the walls all the time, sometimes can make you stir crazy. So, but I would not trade this freedom for anything. It is so worth it, and I can't even explain it. I can't even describe it. Like, it's everything. One thing that I've realized lately and over the past couple years is that for all the pain, like all the pain I've ever went through, all the pain I was going through, I was also representation, proof that I can get through, you can get through, anybody can get through anything with just faith and resilience. Like, I had to say that to myself, like, girl, you are a representation, you are proof that you can do anything that you set your mind to, no matter what you go through, no matter what trials, no matter what struggles, no matter what. And I am proof that you can do anything. Just reconnecting with myself, my creativity, my curiosity. It has been lighting a fire in me that has been dim for far too long. Like, because entrepreneurship, just doing web designing, websites, helping people, consulting, helping people just bring their visions to life. That has always been my zone. Like, that's my flow. Like, that is me. Call me Sharita. I don't even know. Like, just that's my zone. I love it so much. I love that feeling I get. So, like I said before, like, just this freedom, it is truly a blessing. It is truly a moment of peace, a moment of still to just reflect and just let my creativity flow and let God help me continue doing what I do, because that is me. So this freedom, I just been basking in it. I've been redesigning my services, clarifying my offers, and reconnecting with clients from, like, oh my gosh, 3 4 5 years ago, who had just they've been waiting on me. Like, it was wild. Like, the universe was just saying, girl, I just been waiting for you, like, just waiting for you to show up. So this time I showed up with boundaries, clarity, and purpose. I created something that works for me. Like, I don't have to ask anyone for permission. I don't need a pass to go to the bathroom. I'm not being micromanaged or gaslit or forced to smile through stress. Like, I'm in full boss mode again. And it feels so, so, so good. It feels so good. Like, I promise I don't miss it. I don't miss it. I just miss my babies. I miss those kids, but I do not miss it. I don't miss the micromanaging. I don't miss none of it. I don't miss the stress. One thing that I don't think we realize that is important is a support system. Like, it's very rare that you can find like a solid group of people who are there to remind you of, like, those hard days. So over the years, I started building my circle, a very small circle though, of friends, family, some clients. Clients also become friends over the years, coaches, who cheered for me, who prayed for me, and reminded me of who I am. My bestie, there was so many times that I went to him and cried, like during those days, and he would be like, "Girls, snap back. Do you know who you are? Regardless of what you do, you have to remember who you are." And having that support system is key. So I always make space, like the time with my family, just walking in peace, creating and prioritizing my health. One of the things that I did was start seeing a therapist. It was recommended to me by a friend of mine, and they were like, "You just don't understand, like it helps so much. You don't have to be depressed, stressed." During those times of stress, I felt the slight depression coming on. I overcame it, but I did start seeing a therapist, and it has helped me so much, changed me. I've learned to balance everything. I started eating healthy, started drinking more water, exercising. Like it's like a breath of fresh air. It's gave me my confidence, my joy back. It's amazing. So having a therapist is something, if you don't have one, you might want to think about. Just to have somebody to talk to, because telling people sometimes is just like you talking to a stranger in the streets. A lot of people don't really care about what you're going through. They just want to know, to be nosy, and then go run back and tell, or laugh about it, or whatever the case may be. But that support system is detrimental to you just surviving daily and through life. And make sure you're always there for those people that support you too, whether it's time, helping them walk in peace, creating, just being a cheer for them. As I look back on these past 2 years, I'm filled with so much gratitude. Like gratitude for the burnout because it pushed me, gratitude for the break because it healed me, gratitude for the pivot because it aligned me. I've learned that it's okay to walk away from what no longer serves you. And trust me, what's on the other side of fear is usually purpose. But here's the thing, you won't see it until you move. You won't feel it until you let go. And sometimes the only way to find yourself again is to release everything that's been breaking you. I mean, totally release it. Well, that saying has never been truer. Let go and let God. You have to release it. I had to walk away from a steady check, a title, and a role that used to bring me pride just to remember who I was without it. I had to bet on me. And let me tell you something, purpose doesn't always come wrapped in comfort. Sometimes it shows up disguised as pain, disappointment, or silence. But when you push through that, when you keep going, even scared, even when you're unsure, that's when that breakthrough hits. And let me tell you, when I say it hits like something different. Because purpose is quiet until you're ready to listen. And I finally listen. Now I wake up on my own terms. I create my own time. I serve people who I actually want to work with. And most importantly, I protect my peace with everything I got. And when I say I protect my peace, I protect it at all costs. I protect my peace because I know what it feels like to lose it. I know what it's like to show up for everybody but yourself. And I know what it costs when you ignore your own calling just so you can keep the peace in places that never valued you in the first place. Let me say that again, places that never value you in the first place. So if you're listening to this right now and you at your breaking point and you're tired, drained, doubting yourself, I want you to know you don't have to stay stuck. You don't owe anyone your burnout, and you sure as hell don't need permission to choose you. But listen, the moment you decide to choose you, that's when everything shifts. I mean, everything. That's when you stop surviving and you start living. Purpose doesn't chase comfort, it stretches you. It calls you out of hiding. It asks you to risk something safe to gain something sacred. And when you say yes to that calling, life opens up in ways you couldn't even imagine. And that's what happened to me. All I know is there's always more waiting for us on the other side of fear. Sometimes we let fear just hold us back from so much. There's more freedom, more alignment, more joy. It's more you. It's more of you pouring into you, more of you listening and aligning with your true self. And you got what it takes. We always have what it takes. We just need that, support and that voice from God, that silence to be able to get into that space that you need. This past year has been so wow. A big achievement. I paid off my home and my land. It has been a goal of mine for the past 3 years. I know if you know me, you know me. I'll be like, I'm this close. I'm almost done. I'm almost done. And I say it out loud and it still gives me chills. Oh my gosh. Because when I left that classroom, I had no backup plan, no guaranteed income, just a decision and my faith. But I trusted in God, I trusted myself, and I stayed aligned with my purpose. Through prayer, planning, and staying obedient to the vision placed on my life, I made a major move towards generational wealth and peace. And I don't share this to brag, I share it to remind you that when you walk in purpose, the provision follows. Just that one decision, it didn't just free up my finances, it freed up my mind. Like I no longer move from a place of stress or survival. I move with vision, with intention, and with flow. Now, every move I make, every service I offer, every brand I help build, it's all rooted in something real: clarity, confidence, and community. I don't wake up to pressure anymore. I wake up to purpose. I don't serve out of obligation. I serve from overflow. Burnout no longer has a seat at my table. Peace does. And baby, I'm back in full boss mode. More focused, more driven, more aligned. Like more aligned than I've ever been. And let me be clear, I am just getting started because the woman who you're hearing today, she chose herself. She bet on her calling and she's building something that can't be taken away because it came from obedience, not approval. So, to every woman listening to this, every tired teacher, every hidden creative, every overworked professional who knows deep down that you're made for so much more, this is your reminder. It's not too late. You're not too far gone, and you are absolutely allowed to pivot. Listening to this and you're in that dark place, feeling like you're failing, overwhelmed, unsure of your next step, I want you to hear me and hear me clearly. You don't have to stay stuck. You don't have to keep sacrificing yourself for someone else's dreams. You can pivot, you can heal, and you can build something beautiful on your own terms. Sometimes that breakdown is the doorway to your breakthrough. And sometimes losing everything is what makes room for everything real. And let me say this to you: you are not behind, you are not too late, you are becoming, even in the mess, even in the pause, even in the pivot. Hey, if this episode spoke to you, if you saw yourself in my story and my struggle and my bounce back, don't let the conversation end here. I genuinely want to hear from you. Your voice matters, your story matters, and your truth, it might be the lifeline someone else is praying for. So leave me a voice note or send a text message and let me know how this episode hit home for you. What part made you pause? What part made you feel seen? And what did you need to hear? Head to my podcast page or just click the link in the show notes to share your thoughts, your story, or just say, hey, girl, I felt that. You never know. What you share, it might show up in my future episode, and you might just help someone else take their first step toward healing or bossing up too. And if you're sitting in your storm right now, if you're tired, questioning yourself, or silently planning your next move, just know you don't have to do it alone. I've built digital courses, branding services, and business tools designed to help you break out of survival mode and build something that actually feeds you personally, creatively, and financially. You can check it all out over at SM Consulting Digital Design at www.sharitameyer.com. So do me a three, hit that follow button so you never miss what's next. Send this episode to someone who's been carrying too much for too long, and tap the link in my bio or show notes to explore everything I built to help you step into your next level. Because over here, we don't shrink. We build, we glow up, we boss up, we heal out loud, and we create the life we were never given. We designed it for ourselves. This has been Speak No Sugar, and baby, I'm just getting started. If you felt this episode, I promise the next one's gonna hit even harder. So stay close. Until next time, protect your peace, honor your power, and speak no sugar. All right, fam, that's a wrap on this episode, but the conversation doesn't stop here. I want to hear from you. You got a wild story to share, a topic you want me to tackle, or maybe you just want to show some love. Hit me up. Send me a message, drop your thoughts, or even slide in with some fan mail. And listen, if you got something real to say and you think you make a fire guest, let's talk. Follow me on all socials and DM me or email me. And don't forget, subscribe, rate, and share this episode with someone who needs to hear it. Until next time, keep it real, keep it raw, and remember, we speak no sugar.